Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here on an awesome night. We're sitting back. Everybody enjoyed the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I enjoyed this so much that I honestly watched this twice. Had a little bit of shit going down during the first running of this, so I sat back and I wanted to watch it one more time. I think that's one of the funnest things about the WWE Network. It's also one of the only networks that runs commercials for the network while you're watching the network. But everybody sat back, everybody drank their diet dews and got it done. WWE Network put on an awesome show tonight for us. The Money in the Bank, always one of the most fun, always one of the most exciting ways to sort of kick off the summer and push WWE into what direction they're going. I thought that honestly this show was really good. It had very good matches. It also had some matches that nobody really cared about and showed you the lack and the non-depth that is in the WWE roster going on right now. Easily you can see that there's problems with the Divas division. Honestly, you can see there's problems with the mid-card. When I go back and I talk about the Attitude Era, I always say, they had great main events and their mid-card sucked. But honestly, by looking at this show, and you got so many stars involved in the two Money in the Bank matches, the mid-card, they would die for any of the mid-card guys from the Attitude Era to fill these holes. Adam Rose wrestling against Damian Sandow was just a crime. To see how Sandow can go from winning the Money in the Bank last year to just being sort of just a guy that is out there just to lay down and take the 3 count. It's just so weird how a year has turned this guy around and really just got down to nothing. They pulled Bad News Barrett due to injury from the show. He injured his shoulder at the SmackDown tapings and that aired on Friday. It was talked about during the pre-show. Christian was a rumored person to fill that spot, seeing how he was at the show, already booked to be on the panel for the WWE Network, and he didn't get it. Nothing. That was it. WWE pre-show, honestly, having Daniel Bryan on there, I'm sure that it got a little bit of a big, fan push behind him. It wasn't no El Torito versus Hornswoggle match, but Daniel Bryan came out there and didn't really say much. Said and confirmed everything that we've read in the the dirt sheets out there, basically that his arm is messed up from his neck surgery. He might have to have another surgery to fix it. There's no timetable for his return. He said that he was sort of pissed off the way Stephanie just had no feelings, no remorse about stripping him of the WWE Championship, and that basically he is going to have to come back, and once he does come back, he'll make sure that he erases that face from her repertoire, I guess you could say. From there, we started out the pay-per-view. I honestly thought they would start this off with the Money in the Bank match to kick it off and sort of push them in the that sort of just way to open up the show, but they went with the tag team championship match with the Usos beating Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Basically, it was a big splash onto Rowan after like a double suplex sort of deal. The match was good, wasn't great. I think everybody was looking for the Wyatts to go over here, but the Usos are going to keep on rolling. The funniest tweet I saw tonight was sort of saying that Harper and Rowan were getting the crime time treatment, seeing how they were one of the most over tag teams of its time, but just never really got their tag title run along the way. From there, we went to the Divas Championship match, Paige versus Naomi. Paige won with a Cradle DDT. Biggest surprise of the night was Cameron being at ringside in Naomi's corner. When they walked out, you could see that there's some sort of dissension in the tag team, but Cameron stood on the outside, watched all of the action. Once Naomi was pinned for the 3 count, Cameron went in the ring and consoled her and picked her up off the mat and carried her to the back. Nothing really, I kept on waiting for her to, kick her when she was down, seeing the Funkadactyls break up, but more than likely we're moving towards Cameron versus Paige at the next month's pay-per-view, I would guess. Impromptu match came out with Adam Rose beating Damian Sandow. Nothing really to say here other than Sandow coming out in the Paul Revere outfit was mildly entertaining. There we went to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, RVD, Kofi Kingston, Jack Swagger, and Dolph Ziggler. Highlight of this match easily would be Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and their, feud. This is the first time that they've been in the ring together other than, sort of just run-ins and just sort of brawls. And, being in an official match, it was almost like you just wanted to see everybody step to the side and watch Rollins and Ambrose just beat the piss out of each other. Ambrose came running down to the ring. He was the last guy introduced to the match. He took Rollins out of the match and over the barricade in a matter of seconds. And they were just throwing punches left and right. Every time it seemed that Rollins was going to, have a leg up in the match, Ambrose was there to knock him down. Every time that Ambrose was looking like he was going to be doing good in the match. Ambrose did go after the briefcase, but it seemed like his number one objective was just making sure that Rollins was beaten down and just wanted to beat the Shield into him pretty much. RVD had his spots. Kofi Kingston had his spots. Kofi Kingston did a thing where he did a jump off of the top rope. And they caught him on the outside. Swagger was a guy in this. He took his bumps. He gave his bumps. He was all around it. Dolph Ziggler. One of the coolest things of the night was him being locked into the ankle lock by Swagger and still being able to climb up, and be determined to grab the briefcase. Ambrose was knocked out of this match. At one of the points when Ambrose was in the back, Seth Rollins climbed to the top and was about to grab the briefcase, only for Ambrose to come running down to a huge pop and ovation. With Ambrose taking out Rollins, Kane had to come down to save the day. Triple H had sent him down there. Rollins was able to climb up, finally grab the briefcase after a DDT and a tombstone from Kane. Triple H came out and greeted. Oh, it was Triple H and Stephanie came out and greeted Seth Rollins at the top of the ramp, saying that Evolution was moving into the next direction, and we got a good ladder match right there. Goldust and Stardust came out and they wrestled a match against Ryback and Curtis Axel after sort of a running collision from Ryback. Stardust was able to get the roll up, and they were able to get the win in this goofy little deal. Big E versus Rusev, honestly, in my mind, was the match of the night. The match that I cared the most about, even more than the briefcase, even more that I cared about the championship changing hands. I loved this match. I loved it more than the match at Payback. These two big guys beating the crap out of each other. I popped more for Big E doing the huge spear on Rusev again, more than I popped for anything in either of the ladder matches. These guys are awesome. They are very, very good. You can't go wrong. Big E is going to be a huge star. Rusev got the win in this one by making Big E tap out in the middle of the ring. I'm sort of surprised, but at the end of the game, my guy having two losses at back-to-back pay-per-views means that I just want him to come back at the next one and make sure he gets the win there. He keeps on coming out there with the bug eyes, waving that big old American flag. I love Big E more today than I did yesterday because of this loss. Layla versus Summer Rae honestly was less of a match than I thought it was going to be. Layla got the win over Summer Rae. Layla left with Fandango after they made out in the middle of the ring. I don't know if this is going to be the end of their gimmick, but Summer Rae is going to be fine. She's got an awesome theme music. She's an awesome wrestler. Just let her find her spot. Let her, get in that title hunt with Paige, and we're going to be all right. From there, we went to the vacant WWE title championship ladder Money in the Bank match, whatever you wanted to call it. Cena got the win here. They didn't boo him as bad as they did last time they were in Boston for a pay-per-view. Overall, I think that the crowd cheered for Cena when he won. It seemed like the deck was stacked against everybody with, the whole authority deal with, Orton sort of being the chosen guy from Evolution and Kane coming in to be the backup. Honestly, when Kane came into the mix, it just sort of made me really think that Orton wasn't going to get the win over here. But you got to give thumbs up to Sheamus and Cesaro. Even you got to give it to you even got to give it to Alberto Del Rio here. Roman Reigns was very, very strong in his first, I believe this is his first real main event of the show, and you can just see how big of a star this guy is really going to be. Thank you, WWE Network. Thank you, WWE. I had an awesome time watching this show. It feels like I'm stealing cable, and we'll go from here. Battleground. Oh boy, I'm going to have to get used to saying that. We'll see you next month. Peace out.